It was the kind of moment that instantly changes the trajectory of a franchise. When the Miami Dolphins stepped to the podium during the NFL draft and announced the selection of Jay McCarthy, the buzz that followed wasn't just noise, it was the sound of a new era cracking open in South Florida. After years of chasing stability under center and failing to reach the kind of sustained success fans have craved since the Marino days, the Dolphins didn't just make a pick, they planted a flag. This wasn't about replacing a quarterback. This was about reshaping the entire identity of the team. For years, the Dolphins have been stuck in a loop. Hopeful preseason talk, flashes of brilliance, and then disappointment. With Tua Tagovailoa, there were real moments. There were highlight reels and winning streaks. And for a time, it looked like Miami might have found its guy. But whether due to health concerns, inconsistency, or the simple fact that he never fully took over the team in a way great quarterbacks do, there was always a lingering feeling that something was missing. And it seems the Dolphins front office felt it too. By selecting McCarthy, they made it clear. Good wasn't good enough. They wanted a shot at greatness. Jay McCarthy's name had been climbing draft boards for months, but there was still a sense of shock when Miami pulled the trigger. Here was a quarterback fresh off a national championship at Michigan, a player many praised for his leadership, poise under pressure, and ability to elevate a team around him. But he wasn't the flashy pick. He wasn't the loudest prospect in the room. And yet that might be exactly why the Dolphins fell in love with him. McCarthy doesn't demand attention. He commands it. With a calm demeanor and a fiery competitiveness that lurks just beneath the surface, he has the tools to become the heartbeat of a franchise. The decision didn't come lightly. Miami had other needs. Offensive line questions lingered. Defensive reinforcements were needed. There were also rumors swirling about other quarterbacks possibly being available via trade. And yet Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel stood firm. They didn't just scout McCarthy, they believed in him. And that belief is powerful, especially when it's backed by a coaching staff known for creativity and a front office finally showing the kind of conviction needed to build a real contender. McCarthy enters a situation that's not typical for rookie quarterbacks. He won't be asked to rescue a broken team. The Dolphins have talent. Tyreek Hill is still one of the most dangerous weapons in football. Jalen Waddle is a star in the making. The defense has blue chip players at every level. This isn't a rebuild, it's a reboot. With McCarthy under center, the Dolphins are trying to shift gears, not start over. And that might be the smartest part of this entire plan, because here's the truth. In today's NFL, you win with quarterbacks who can adapt, who can think, who can throw on time and off script, and who can lead. McCarthy has shown he can do all of that. At Michigan, he didn't just manage games, he won them. He stood tall in big moments, played clean football, and made the kind of throws that made scouts sit up in their chairs. His deep ball might not be the strongest in the class, but it's accurate. His mobility isn't elite, but it's effective. And above all, his football IQ is off the charts. He knows when to take risks and when to pull back. He plays with a maturity that belies his age. Of course there will be questions. Can he handle the speed of the NFL? Will the pressure of being the guy in Miami get to him? Can he stay healthy? These are fair concerns, and no one inside the building is expecting instant perfection, but what they are betting on is his trajectory. They believe McCarthy will grow and fast, and with the pieces already in place around him, they don't need him to be Superman from day one. They just need him to be ready when it matters. It's also a huge statement from Mike McDaniel. Known for his offensive genius and his ability to build quarterback-friendly systems, McDaniel now gets a chance to mold a player from the ground up. It is a coach's dream, and for McCarthy, it might be the best possible landing spot. He'll have weapons. He'll have protection schemes designed to play to his strengths. And most importantly, he'll have a head coach who believes in him completely. That kind of support can make all the difference in a young quarterback's development. The locker room, too, will play a critical role. Veterans like Hill, Waddle, and Terron Armstead have seen the highs and lows of this league. If they rally around McCarthy, if they help carry him through the inevitable rookie bumps, this team could be dangerous sooner than people think. Because the AFC is loaded. The Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals, all powerhouse teams with elite quarterbacks. If Miami wants to compete with them, They need their own guy. Not just someone to run the offense, but someone to define it. That's what McCarthy represents. A defining piece, a statement of intent. The Dolphins didn't just draft a quarterback, they drafted a vision. One where explosive offense meets disciplined execution, one where potential meets preparation, one where finally Miami has a leader who can carry the weight of expectation and keep moving forward anyway. Fans should be excited, not just because of the name on the back of the jersey, but because of what this move means. It's bold, it's forward thinking, it's the kind of swing that separates teams that play it safe from those that want to win championships. And for a franchise that has spent far too long in the NFL's middle tier, that kind of courage matters. Joe J. McCarthy might not have been the obvious pick, but he might be the right one. The quarterback who doesn't need the spotlight to shine, who doesn't need the hype to produce, and who understands that being great isn't about the noise, it's about the work. And in Miami, the work is just beginning. The new era has arrived, and it starts with number 9. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up. Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. As the 2025 NFL Draft draws near, anticipation builds not only among fans and analysts, but also within the very walls of team facilities across the league. For franchises like the Miami Dolphins, this pivotal event offers more than just the promise of new talent. It represents a critical juncture, a chance to reshape the roster, address long-standing weaknesses, and perhaps, if the right decisions are made, tilt the balance of power in the AFC East. After yet another campaign that failed to deliver the kind of postseason success their fans have longed for, the Dolphins approach this year's draft with urgency and intent. The front office, led by General Manager Chris Greer and head coach Mike McDaniel, understands the stakes. Miami has been competitive in recent years, but consistent excellence has eluded them, often due to injuries, depth issues, or key positions lacking high-end talent. Heading into this draft, several areas have emerged as priorities. The offensive line remains a major concern, especially at the guard and right tackle positions. Protecting the quarterback is paramount, particularly given the health history of Tua Tagovailoa. Beyond the offensive trenches, the defensive secondary also poses problems, with injuries and inconsistencies plaguing both the cornerback and safety. Units last season, depth and talent are urgently needed. And then there's the running back room, a position that, while not completely barren, lacks the explosiveness and reliability needed to take pressure off the passing game. As draft week approaches, the air is thick with speculation, and rumors abound across league circles. Reports from NFL insiders, including CBS Sports' Jonathan Jones, continue to shed light on team priorities, potential surprises, and behind-the-scenes decision-making. Among the many teams caught in the whirlwind of pre-draft buzz, the Dolphins stand out, not only because of their potential to shake things up, but also because of a critical, looming question that could shape the very foundation of the franchise. What is the future of quarterback Tua Tagovailoa? Since being drafted in 2020, Tagovailoa's career in Miami has been a roller coaster. When healthy, he's been effective, even electric at times. His quick release, accuracy in the short to intermediate game, and leadership on the field have contributed to a winning record, 38 wins and 24 losses in games where he started. However, that statistic alone doesn't tell the full story. The flip side is deeply concerning. Without Tua under center, the Dolphins have struggled significantly, managing to win just 9 of the 24 games played without him. Last season alone, the team went 2-4 in games where Tagovailoa was sidelined, exposing a glaring vulnerability in Miami's quarterback depth. Durability, more than anything, has become the elephant in the room. Head injuries, particularly concussions, have cast a long shadow over Tua's career. Even as he enters a critical contract phase, questions linger about whether the Dolphins can truly build around him as their franchise quarterback, not just for the 2025 season, but for years to come. If disaster strikes again and Tua is forced to miss significant time, the Dolphins' current backup plan inspires little confidence. That plan revolves around Zach Wilson, the former second overall pick who never found consistent footing with the New York Jets and now carries a career-starting record of 12 wins and 21 losses. While he has flashed ability, Wilson's inconsistency and decision-making woes make him a risky insurance policy. Understanding this precarious situation, the Dolphins have taken a proactive approach during the draft process, quietly evaluating several quarterback prospects who could be available in the middle rounds. One of the names that has surfaced is Tyler Shough from Louisville. Though not projected to be a first or even second round selection, Shough brings a mix of size, arm strength, and experience that could make him a viable developmental option. But he's not alone on Miami's radar. Ohio State's Will Howard, Texas' Quinn Ewers, Alabama's Jalen Milroe, and Syracuse's Kyle McCord have all reportedly garnered some level of interest from the Dolphins' scouting department. Each of these prospects presents a unique profile. Will Howard offers toughness and leadership qualities, but needs refinement in terms of accuracy and footwork. Quinn Ewers, a former 5-star recruit, dazzles with natural talent, but has yet to fully put it all together on the field. Jalen Milroe brings elite athleticism and playmaking ability with his legs, though questions about his passing consistency linger. Kyle McCord, meanwhile, shows a high football IQ and strong mechanics, but scouts have wondered about his ceiling at the next level. With a third-round pick, 2 fourth-round selections, and a pair of fifth-rounders, the Dolphins are well-positioned to take a calculated risk on one of these quarterbacks. The goal would not be to immediately replace Tagovailoa, but to shore up the position with a player who can provide stability and growth potential. Should the need arise, whether due to injury or future contract developments, the team would at least have a quarterback in the pipeline, someone already familiar with the system and ready to step in. This approach underscores a broader philosophical shift in Miami's front office. They are no longer just building for the present. There is an understanding that sustainability and flexibility are just as crucial as talent acquisition. By targeting mid-round quarterbacks, the Dolphins are hedging their bets, recognizing both the fragility of their current situation and the potential upside of grooming a young signal caller. The conversation around the Dolphins and the draft, however, is not solely about quarterbacks. Offensive line reinforcements remain a non-negotiable. Last year's struggles in pass protection and run blocking cannot continue if Miami hopes to keep pace with the AFC's elite teams. Internal evaluations have revealed particular vulnerability on the right side of the line. And with this draft class offering decent depth at tackle and interior offensive line positions, there is cautious optimism that the Dolphins can find a plug-and-play contributor outside of round 1. Similarly, the secondary cannot be overlooked. Injuries to key contributors last season forced Miami to rotate heavily in the defensive backfield, exposing a lack of dependable depth, with modern offenses putting more stress on defensive backs than ever before. Investing in versatile players who can cover, tackle, and communicate effectively in complex schemes is a must. Then there is the running back question. While the Dolphins have enjoyed occasional bursts of success on the ground, the unit lacks a true difference maker, a back who can dominate touches and wear down defenses late in games. Whether they target a speedster to complement the current committee or a bruising power runner capable of handling goal line duties, addressing this area will be important for offensive balance. Taken together, the Dolphins' draft outlook paints the picture of a team at a crossroads. They are competitive, yes, but vulnerable. Their roster features legitimate stars, yet also critical soft spots. The 2025 NFL Draft represents a chance not just to fill holes, but to recalibrate their trajectory. The decisions made over draft weekend will ripple through the franchise for years to come. Much depends on the first few rounds, where elite talent is scarce and the margin for error is slim. But for the Dolphins, the mid and late round selections could prove just as important, particularly when it comes to building out the quarterback room, strengthening the offensive line, and fortifying the secondary. Every pick, every call, every strategy session will carry weight. In the high-stakes world of the NFL, windows of opportunity can open and close in the blink of an eye. For the Miami Dolphins, the 2025 draft is more than an annual ritual. It's a defining moment. Whether they emerge stronger or find themselves stuck in neutral will depend not only on talent evaluation, but also on the courage to confront uncomfortable truths about their roster and the foresight to plan beyond just the upcoming season. Still, with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week?